Hi guys, Victoria Paxton here. Thanks for stopping back by my YouTube channel. Okay, so first off, don't mind my eyes. I'm having some sort of reaction. This is life, real life here, people. Okay, so today I am doing a reading with the one, the only, Heath Ledger. Yeah, so, all right, so let me get started. Heath Andrew Ledger was born April 4th, 1979 in Perth, Western Australia. He was the son of Sally Ramshaw, a French teacher, and his father's name was Kim Ledger. He was a race car driver and he was a mining engineer. And his family owned and established the Ledger Engineering Foundry. The Sir Frank Ledger Charitable Trust is named after Heath's great grandfather. How cool is that? Okay, so Heath was of English, Irish, and Scottish. I can't talk. Heath was of English, Irish, and Scottish ancestry. He attended Mary's Mount Primary School in Gooseberry Hill. When he was 11 years old, unfortunately, his parents divorced. His older sister, Kate, she was an actress and a publicist. They were very close, and she inspired his acting on stage, and his love of Gene Kelly. His love of Gene Kelly inspired his successful choreography, leading to Guildford Grammar's 60-member team's first all-boy victory. Woo-hoo. So when he was 16, he graduated early, and he left to go pursue his acting career. Took his best friend, Trevor DiCarlo, with him. He'd known him since he was 3 years old. They drove across Australia from Perth to Sydney. He returned to Perth to take a small role in Clowning Around, the first part of a two-part television series, and to work on the TV series Sweat, in which he played a cyclist. From 1993 to 1997, Ledger also had parts in the Perth television series Ship to Shore. All right, so I was going to read all this stuff, all about his life, and I think we all pretty much know his accomplishments at this point. Let's see, Brokeback Mountain, The Knight's Tale, which is my favorite movie of all time. 10 Things I Hate About You, which is probably my second favorite that he ever did. He was also an avid chess player and a photographer. Good to know. So those are things that I did not know. Okay, so in 2004, Heath met and began dating actress Michelle Williams on the set of Brokeback Mountain. They had their first daughter together, Matilda Rose. She was born October 28th of 2005. Interestingly enough, Matilda's godparents are Heath's Brokeback Mountain co-star Jack Gyllenhaal and Williams' Dawson Creek co-star Busy Phillips. Wow. In January 2005, Ledger put his residence in Bronte, New South Wales up for sale, and he returned to the U.S., where he shared a house with Williams in Brooklyn from 2005 to 2007. Unfortunately, in September 2007, Williams' father came out and confirmed that they had in fact ended their relationship. So in a New York Times interview that was published November 4th, 2007, Heath told Sarah Lyle that his recently completed roles in I'm Not There and The Dark Knight had taken a toll on his ability to sleep. In January of 2008, he complained to his co-star Christopher Plummer that he was continuing to have difficulty sleeping and he was taking pills to help. Michelle Williams did an interview with Interview magazine after Ledger had died, and she confirmed that he had in fact had trouble sleeping for as long as she'd known him, which really sucks. That's the worst when you can't sleep. She said he had too much energy. His mind was turning, always turning. Okay, so following Heath's death, Entertainment Tonight aired video footage from 2006 in which Heath stated that he used to smoke 5 joints a day for 20 years. Holy crap. At about 3 p.m. on January 22nd of 2008, Ledger was found unconscious in his bed by his housekeeper, Teresa Solomon, and by his masseuse, Diane Wolozin, at his loft on Broome Street, in the Soho neighborhood in Manhattan. According to police, Willis then arrived early for a 3 p.m. appointment with Ledger. She called Ledger's friend, Mary Kate Olsen, for help. Olsen, who was in California, directed a New York City private security guard to go to the scene. At 3:26 p.m., less than 15 minutes after she first saw him in bed, and only a few minutes after the call to Miss Olsen, Willison called 911 to say that Mr. Ledger was not breathing. She began CPR after the 911 operator urged her to do so. Paramedics and EMTs arrived 7 minutes later at 3:33 p.m., but they were unable to revive him. At 3:36 p.m., Ledger was pronounced dead, and his body was removed from his apartment. He was 28 years old. On February 6, 2008, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner of New York released its report. The report concluded that Ledger died as a result of acute intoxication by the combined effects of oxycodone, hydrocodone, diazepam, temazepam, alprazolam, and doxylamine. And I'm sure I mispronounced all of them, so there. That's just me. It also concluded it was an accidental overdose. So, man, that just, I remember that day. Okay, so let me just say that I was able to connect with Heath. He came through. He looked absolutely amazing. Dirty blonde hair, his gorgeous eyes. I mean, how can you not think the guy was a nice looking guy, right? So, and he was exactly as I expected him to be. I mean, he was very polite and very well put together and just really down to earth, you know. I was talking to him about his acting, and he really was just so humble and down to earth, you know. A lot of times, you know, these people can be kind of stuck on themselves, basically. He was definitely not. He is not. I told him I wanted to talk to him about his past and about how his life ended, and he said he was an open book. So I started off by asking him if he ever thought that he had a substance abuse problem. He immediately shook his head yes. He shook his head yes, and he said definitely. He said, I couldn't get through a day without getting high on marijuana. I became attached to it because I couldn't function if I didn't have it each and every day. He said, you know, towards the end of his life, he wasn't really getting high on marijuana very much because, you know, he had jobs and he had to be able to be a productive member of society. So he said he'd kind of gotten off of it at that point. You know, he spoke about, marijuana is legal in a lot of places, but he said in his opinion, in his case, he couldn't function without it. He had become attached to it. We talked about, I said, okay, so you made the comment that you weren't smoking marijuana towards the end of your life. Is there a reason why you just completely stopped? And he went on to say, yeah, because I had to function and be a productive member of society by work, you know, with working and such. He said, but also he had a plethora of prescription medication that, you know, he could use. And he said, and he did use it, you know, as he needed it. I asked him if there's anything today that he misses from his past life. And he said the one main thing he misses is being able to hold his daughter and hug his daughter. He said, you know, he checks in on her. He said it's just not the same, you know, as the human touch. And he just felt sorry for him. He looked really sad, you know. He said, you know, let's say he missed his parents, his older sister, his two younger sisters. He said, you know, he has a lot of friends and coworkers, which I kind of chuckled when he said coworkers because when you're acting, you don't think of them as coworkers, but they are. But, you know, so yeah, he said No, he had a lot of people that he really missed that were near and dear to him. Okay, I asked him, is there anything where you are that you don't miss? You know, as compared to when you were alive. He said, not having to worry about anything is one thing he doesn't miss. He said he worried about everything all the time. And he also said time. He doesn't miss time. He said when he was alive, you know, everything was on a set schedule, you know, everything was surrounded, you know, everything was about time. He said where he is now, nobody cares about time. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, wow. You know, we went on to talk about he did have a problem with insomnia, and unfortunately as an actor, he said, you know, when you're filming, there are a lot of long days and long nights, and he said it's really hard when you're having a hard time sleeping and you're going for 2 or 3 days, you know, 16, 18-hour days, and you can't sleep. He said, you know, it's hard to stay in character. He said, you know, so he definitely does not miss time. Okay. I asked him, because I felt him kind of pulling away, you know. I asked him if he likes where he is, if he likes where he's at right now. And he said, absolutely, I would take this any day. He said, I miss my daughter, I miss my family. He said, but I'm happy where I am, you know. And the other thing I wanted to mention too is, you know, a lot of times, a lot of the small talk and stuff that I have with people that have crossed, I don't always put every little thing in the video. Sometimes they say personal things that just really don't need to be in here. Like I would never want his daughter to, you know, find this video, and if I said things that he's, you know what I mean? Like I like to kind of keep their privacy somewhat, even though they're gone, you know, so. And I apologize, guys. I'm just not myself today. It has been a tough couple of days, and my eyes are having some kind of reaction to where they're watering like crazy, and it's been a rough day, to say the least. So, okay, guys, be nice, kind, go out of your way to honestly to be kind to someone, you know. And that horrible Hurricane Laura just went through Texas and Louisiana, and just pray for those people. You know, it's just one day your life's good, and the next day you could lose everything, including your life. You know, it's scary, y'all. That, you know, we never know when our time's up. So be nice, because how you are in life is how you are in death. So be nice. I think that about does it. Bye, guys.